Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast. We are very happy you're listening today and spending your time with us. This podcast is made especially for people who are learning English and want to speak better, more clearly, and with more confidence in daily life. You can listen to this podcast at home, while traveling, or during your free time.
Hi everyone, I'm Lena. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are new to English, please don't feel nervous or scared. It is completely okay to make mistakes while learning a new language. In this podcast, we will speak slowly, clearly, and use very easy words so you can understand everything.
And I'm Paul. We want you to feel comfortable while listening to us. You don't need to write anything right now. Just listen, relax, and enjoy the conversation. Today's topic is very useful for daily English conversations, especially when you talk with friends, teachers, or coworkers.
Yes, today we will talk about how to talk about your past in English. This means we will learn how to speak about yesterday, last week, or even your childhood. Many beginners feel scared or confused when they talk about the past, but don't worry. If you learn a few simple rules and practice a little every day, it becomes very easy.
Lena, now let's start with a very common and very important question. This is a question people ask in daily life, at work, at school, or with friends. Lena, what did you do yesterday?
Yesterday I worked at home. I woke up early in the morning at around 7 a.m., and the first thing I did was make some tea for myself. After that, I sat at my desk and started my work. I worked on my computer, answered many emails, and talked to my team online using video calls. It was a normal day, but it was also a busy day because I had many tasks to finish.
That really sounds like a long and busy day. Did you work all day without stopping, or did you finish your work early?
No, I didn't work all day. I worked for many hours, but I also took small breaks during the day. I finished my work at 5 p.m., and after that, I decided to relax. I cooked a simple dinner, listened to some soft music, and watched a few videos on my phone. After a busy day, it felt really nice to rest and enjoy some quiet time.
That sounds very peaceful and relaxing. Yesterday, my day was a little different from yours. In the evening, I watched a movie because I felt tired and wanted to relax my mind. I sat on my sofa, made some coffee, and watched the movie from start to end. After watching the movie, I felt happy and calm, and it helped me forget about the stress of the day.
Paul, a little earlier you said, I watched a movie. This is a very good example of the past simple tense, and it is something beginners can easily learn. When learners hear real examples like this, it helps them understand how English is used in daily life.
Yes, that's right, Lena. When we talk about the past, we usually use the past simple tense. We use it when we talk about something that is finished, like yesterday, last night, or last week. For example, if the action is over and the time is finished, past simple is the best tense to use.
That's a very important point. For example, we say, I worked yesterday, which means the work is finished. I watched a movie, which means the movie is over. I finished my work, which means I am not working now. These sentences are very common in daily English.
Yes, and the good news for beginners is that many verbs are very easy in the past simple. These are called regular verbs, and most of them end with ed. For example, work becomes worked, watch becomes watched, and finish becomes finished. If learners remember this simple rule, they can make many past sentences easily.
That's true. So listeners, you can try this at home. Think about what you did yesterday and change the verb by adding ed. This small step can really improve your English speaking confidence.
But Lena, we should also tell our listeners something important. Not all verbs in English end with ed in the past.
Yes, that's right. Some verbs are called irregular verbs, and these verbs change completely in the past. This means there is no ed ending, and learners need to remember them slowly with practice.
For example, the verb go does not become goed. Instead, it becomes went. The verb eat becomes ate, and the verb see becomes saw. These verbs may look difficult at first, but they are very common and useful.
Yes, and we use these verbs almost every day. For example, yesterday I went to the market in the evening. I ate some street food there like snacks and sweets, and I really enjoyed it. I also saw many people in shops, and the market was very busy and colorful.
That's a great example, Lena. You used 3 irregular verbs in one story: went, ate, and saw. This shows learners that they don't need long or difficult sentences. Even simple sentences with irregular verbs can clearly talk about the past.
Exactly. So listeners, Don't feel afraid of irregular verbs. Learn a few common ones, practice them every day, and slowly they will feel natural. With time, talking about your past in English will become easy and comfortable.
Now let's talk about childhood. Childhood is a very special time in everyone's life, and most people enjoy talking about it. When we talk about childhood, we are talking about a time that is very far in the past. This is also a great topic for beginners because the sentences can be simple and natural. When you talk about childhood, you usually talk about things you liked, things you did, and how your life was when you were young. You don't need difficult grammar. You just need simple past sentences and a few common expressions.
Yes, Paul, that's true. When I was a child, my life was very simple and happy. I didn't have a mobile phone or a computer, so I spent most of my time doing creative things. I liked drawing and painting, and I really loved using different colors. After school, I usually sat in my room with my notebooks and pencils. Sometimes I drew pictures of my family. Sometimes I drew animals or nature. I spent many hours drawing quietly, and it helped me feel calm and happy. Drawing was not just a hobby for me. It was something that made me feel free.
That's a beautiful memory, Lena. When I was a child, my life was very active and noisy. I liked playing football with my friends, and we talked and laughed a lot. Every day after school, we met near our houses and played together. Sometimes we played football, and sometimes we played other games. We didn't worry about homework or exams too much. We just enjoyed the moment and had fun with our friends. Those days were simple, but they were very special.
Yes, and listeners, you can talk about your childhood in the same way. You can say, when I was a child, I liked. When I was a child, I played. When I was a child, I enjoyed. These sentences help you talk about long ago past time very easily.
Exactly. You don't need long stories at first. Even 2 or 3 simple sentences are enough to talk about your childhood clearly. Now let's move to something very important, asking questions about the past. Many English learners can understand past sentences, but they feel shy or confused when they want to ask questions. So Lena, how do we ask questions about the past in simple English?
That's a very common problem, Paul. The good news is that asking questions about the past is actually very easy. We use just one word, did, and this word helps us make many questions.
For example, we say, did you work yesterday? Did you watch a movie last night? Did you play football when you were a child? When you use die, the main verb stays in its base form. That's a very important point. We say, did you work, and not did you worked? This mistake is very common, but with practice, learners can avoid it. And answering these questions is also very simple. If the answer is yes, you say, yes, I did. If the answer is no, you say, no, I didn't. You can also add more information if you want.
For example, you can say, yes, I did. I worked at home yesterday. Or, no, I didn't. I stayed at home and rested. This helps you sound more natural and confident while speaking.
Yes, confidence is very important. When you know how to ask and answer past questions, you can continue a conversation easily. You can talk to friends, teachers, or colleagues without fear.
So listeners, practice asking questions with did every day. Ask yourself questions about yesterday or your childhood. Slowly, you will feel more comfortable, and your English speaking will improve a lot.
Time words are very helpful when talking about the past. They help the listener understand when something happened. Without time words, sentences can feel confusing or incomplete. That's why time words are very important for clear English communication.
Yes, exactly. Some very common time words are yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and when I was a child. These words clearly show that we are talking about the past and not about the present or the future. Beginners should learn these time words first because they are used very often in daily conversations.
For example, if I say, I watched a movie, it is okay. But if I say, I watched a movie yesterday, it becomes much clearer. The listener immediately understands the time. This small change can make your English sound much better and more natural.
That's a great point, Paul. Time words help you organize your thoughts when you speak. They also help the listener follow your story easily. So learners, try to use at least one time word in every past sentence you say.
You can practice like this. Yesterday, I worked at home. Last week, I met my friends. When I was a child, I liked playing games. Simple sentences with time words are perfect for beginners. Now it's your turn to practice. Learning English is not just about listening. It's also about speaking. So take a moment and think about yesterday, last week, or your childhood. Try to make 2 or 3 simple sentences in English.
Yes, and please remember to speak slowly. You don't need to speak fast to speak good English. Clear and slow English is always better than fast and confusing English. And most importantly, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every mistake helps you understand something new. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes, so it's completely normal.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast and learning with us today. We really appreciate your time and your effort to improve your English. Keep practicing a little every day, and you will see progress.
We hope this episode helped you feel more confident about talking about your past in English. If you enjoyed this podcast, keep listening and practicing with us.
See you next time. Bye.